just want to tell everybody, relax.
Chill.
Who's going to be
Chill.
all right? He's going to be fine. This training camp is training camp. He's building off of this.
Yeah.
But I had one question about Trey just to start up, was just about his mental and the
Mm.
idea of with Fred Warner as that middle linebacker, Jimmy Ward as that free safety. I know they're probably trying to disguise some coverages from time to time or try to mess with him. Does he ever look overmatched mentally? I heard in one of the last practices, I think he was making checks at the line, right, in order and was able to make a play out of that. Like, how is Trey in that chess game? I mean, obviously, I know it's practice. There's only so much he can do, but does he look overmatched mentally in those?
No, he doesn't look overmatched mentally, and he doesn't look like he's losing confidence. Now, it's hard to like really build confidence when you're not having a ton of success. But what you do see is him like yesterday, he had a bad day. I'm
Yeah,
guessing tomorrow he'll look good. Like that's kind of been he responds. And what the players, it's like Ayuk says is, like so today, after yesterday's 4-12, he's the same exact way he was after the day that he was good. He never
yeah,
gets down on himself. I think players appreciate that's what they all liked about Jimmy Garoppolo. He's exactly the same all the time. It seems like Lance is that way. And it seems just watching him on the field, he's a very confident player. I'm not sure he's a confident pocket passer. That comes with experience. But he's a very confident player. And if he happens to miss one throw, he doesn't all of a sudden go in a shell and start not pulling the trigger and scrambling around. Like he really wants to show off his arm. And if he misses one, he comes right back. I like that about him.
I agree. I actually think the one thing that he might have learned from Jimmy is to keep playing.
Yeah.
It's like idea like, hey, like, all right, even if I struggle early, just keep grinding,
Yeah.
keep fighting, and you can still win games. But go ahead.
One more thing with him too. He's a small school guy from North Dakota State. Now there's a lot of pressure, even in training camp. And I feel like what we saw with him last year is he was tight at the beginning of games. He had a lot to prove. He was young. It's a big stage. That second half against Houston,
Settle
calm
down.
down. So even in these training camp practices, like it's an hour and a half, it's 10 to 15 throws. It's not a full game.
I agree.
It's a lot of like, and it's like Jimmy's right there. And you don't know you don't know how closely the organization is scrutinizing every one of your throws. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
When he finally gets into some games and can catch his, can take a breath and get into the flow of things, we've already seen him do it.
exactly. It's football. It'll be like I can just play a little bit.
Oh,
Do
I'm
you
the best athlete in the field. Right. Okay, I can do this. Doesn't
exactly,
have to be that hard. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So really looking forward to him. Do you think he'll play a quarter or so on
I
Friday?
don't
Or
know. That's a good question. I'm going to talk about that with my dad tomorrow. I'm going to call a few old
uh,
coaches and see how they would handle the new preseason schedule. Because it
okay,
used to be four games. Third one was the dress rehearsal. It was a whole rhythm and build up. Now it's 3 games in like 12 days. I don't know how they're going to handle it.
okay.
It seems like the elite quarterbacks don't play in preseason anymore, but that's not Trey. At the same time, he got hurt last year. So look, if Trent, here's the thing, man. You really want? I got to think about this. You really want Trey out there if Trent Williams isn't? Think
Ooh,
about that.
it's a great
Because I
question.
don't think Trent Williams is playing in preseason.
Yeah,
No,
no. So, yikes. Good
something to
question.
think about. Something to
Hmm.
think about. Yeah, I don't
Uh,
know. I haven't decided.
okay. All right. And as far as I know, you've been talking about Trey running a lot, like being used as running back. But isn't that why we got TDP, Sermon, Mitchell, Debo with incentives to run the football? So I mean, I know he's gonna
Yes,
run.
but it's
Oh,
the threat. It's the threat. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? It's like with Jimmy, there's no threat of play action. There's no threat of zone read. So the eyes just go in on, there's no misdirection on the run. It's hard. They tried to create misdirection with shifts and stuff, but the misdirection game is going to be like way better. Their running game should be the most diverse run game in the league. Unless Mike McDaniel had all the good ideas and he's gone. I don't think that's the case.
uh-huh.
I don't think they should have the most aggressive, diverse run game in the league. And just the threat of him keeping it will make it better. He keep it twice a game, but he's going to scramble too.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
I hope that I think we're gonna use him correctly. I just hope honestly that he gets enough trust in Kyle that Kyle trusts him. Because I
yeah.
feel like X in the game when Kyle was like, oh, I'm gonna let you throw a little bit, you actually calm down a little bit. Like it's
Well,
one
we saw with Jimmy, right? There'd be times when Kyle would start to trust Jimmy, like, oh, he's hot this month. I'll let him throw. But then there'd be times like Kyle's like, nah, you're terrible. I don't trust you anymore. I'm taking the game out of your hands. And he would do it it might be, I mean, that's kind of how Kyle is. He's a control freak. He doesn't really like any quarterback he's ever had. You
uh-huh.
know how he's going to handle Trey. If Trey has a little bit of a struggle, Kyle's going to take the game out of his hands. But Kyle has shown he can win games that way with this team.
Okay.
And I still think it's easier to win a game, taking the ball out of Trey's hands and Jimmy's hands because Jimmy can't do anything if he's not throwing. That's all. I don't know.
All right, last thing before I go, I know I'm taking a little bit. It's just keep pushing the Jordan Mason propaganda. Just because I need him to make the team, so I can buy a Mason jersey. This doesn't have to be custom, so it's going to be perfect for me. Have my own last name on the jersey. So
Let me tell you something. Here's one thing I've seen from Mason. One thing I look for in practice is people falling down, because these are the best athletes in the world. Usually the best of the best can stay on their feet. Most of the time, there's some collisions and stuff. You can't knock Jordan Mason over. You cannot knock this dude over. I'd like to see him in a real game. He doesn't have the burst of Ty Davis Price. He's not fast like that. But he's super quick, really good hands. And he's got this, he's big, but he just has a super low center of gravity. You can't knock him over. I think he's going to be hella good.
I'm excited to see him on Friday. I can't wait. Football, baby. Let's get it.
Oh, baby. All right, Khaneal.